Alright, so the quartiles that we are looking at here break a data set up into, or a group of numbers, up into 4 distinct pieces, and it enables us to organize our data into a box and whisker plot, which is what we'll be doing tomorrow in class. But for right now, let's just find the quartiles, and we're also going to find the inner quartile range and the range of this list of numbers. So here's how we go about it. We're going to start out by finding quartile 2. This is the quartile that you must find first. And to do this, you find the median, because quartile 2 and the median are the same thing. So Q2 is the median. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's cross one off from each side. Notice I'm not crossing out through the number because I want to be able to see the number. So I'm just doing one from each side. Big 3, big 9. It's an ugly 9, huh? Alright, let's see. And I'm going to put a little box, you can circle, whatever you want to do, around Q2, which is 6, or the median. Let's see, from here, what I'd like to do is find Q1 and Q3, quartile 1 and quartile 3. And all they are, they're fancy names for the median of the lower half, that's quartile 1. So I'm going to put a box around the lower half of numbers, and quartile 3 is the median of the upper half. So now I can actually go through and cross out numbers here. I'm going to cross out 1 and 5. Forget about the 6. I don't include that. Cross out 1 and 4, 2 and 3. And that is Q1, which is also the median of the lower half. In Q3, I'm going to do the same thing, but on the upper half. Don't touch the 6. Start with that 7. And I get 9. So all of the quartiles represent medians. Q2 is the median of the data set. Q1 is the median of the lower half. And Q3 is the median of the upper half. And that's how we eventually separate our numbers into 4 groups. The inner quartile range, that is the range of the quartiles. And it's the biggest quartile, in this case 9, minus the smallest quartile, 3. If you want to make a little note to yourself, this is Q3 minus Q1, which is 6. 9 take away 3 is 6. The range is the biggest number, the max, minus the min. And in our case, that is 10 minus 1, so the range would be 9. And that's everything we need to know right there. Okay. Now notice we only had one number in the middle for the median here. Let's take a look at what happens if you have 2 numbers in the middle. Similar process, slightly different, but pretty much the same. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at this. So let's go about finding Q2, the median. Cross from each end. And there's what I was talking about, those 2 in the middle. Now we could, in order to find the median, we could add those and divide by 2, but I know that it's 25.5. That's right in between 25 and 26. So let's not waste our time. If you have to, go ahead and do it, but let's hope that we know that it's 25.5. Now, for Q1, we're not going to use 25.5, the actual middle, but I do have to include in this case the 25 that's right here. So we didn't do that last time because there's only one number in the middle, but this time I'm going to include it. You see I slash it off, and I'm left with 2 numbers in the middle. So Q1 is 15.5. And then when I find Q3, I'm going to include this 26. So I'm going to cross off 26 and 30. I'm left with 2 27s in the middle for Q3. And if I add them and divide by 2, I'm going to get 27. So we'll leave it at that. For the inner quartile range, I'm going to remind you that's Q3 minus Q1. That's 27 minus 5.5. Or 15.5 rather. So let's do a little subtraction with the borrow. We'll make that a 5. Bring down the decimal. Make that a 6, that's a 1, and a 1, that's 11.5. Interquartile range again, IQR. And the big range is 30 minus 10, which is 20, the max minus the min. And we are done. Things that you need to remember, if you look back to our first problem, let's go back here. Whoops. If you only have one number in the middle, when you're finding Q1 and Q3, do not include that number in the middle. Do you see my green boxes? Don't hit that. When you do have two numbers in the middle, you have to include the 25 when you're finding Q1 and the 26 in this one when you're finding Q3. And to find the interquartile range, it is Q3 minus Q1. Tomorrow we'll make some box and whisker plots with these quartiles.